Sorry, I didn't say I was nervous. I said the team was nervous. I was frustrated. Frustrated is different from nervous. And if you say it's good for the players to see the coach frustrated, maybe not. But I didn't say I was nervous.
You're saying your players are nervous. We are nervous.
Yeah. As a team, because it's always we.
Does that help the team to sort of put that thought into their head?
No. I'm saying the obviously. If you want, I can be delusional and say different things. Right. I say it as I saw it, and I said to the players, and I said to you, I think it's a good thing to be really honest with you. If you want me to say different things, you saw one thing, I saw one thing, and I tell you a different thing, I can start to do it. It's easier for me. But what I'm saying is that, and they know. And you can understand the game. If you are in the stadium, you can understand. So let's face it and work on it. But I'm not nervous. I'm frustrated.
We'll get back to Ruben Amorim in just a quick second. But remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. And also, don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D video hits. And if you've got something to say, if there's something bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, if you think I'm talking nonsense, please put it in the comments. I read all of the comments. Anyway, here is Ruben Amorim in his pre-match press conference before the Glasgow Rangers game. And stick around for after the clip, because I am going to be giving you my thoughts on what was said. Here's Ruben.
What response have you seen from your players after what you said?
First of all, I want to talk about that. I was talking more for myself than from my players, because I was talking that, and you have to find out a coach that starts a job and lose 8 games, I think, 7 games in the first 10. So it's more for me. I was talking more about me than the players. I also talk in the same response about I was not helping my players. And if you look around, every time I speak, and I speak a lot, every time you push about the players are not good enough, I never put the spot on my players. So I understand. I gave you that headline, and I'm frustrated sometimes, and sometimes I should not say that in that terms, but it is what it is, and that's it. Sometimes it's really hard to hide the frustration in some moments, but the good thing is that I said the same things in a different way in the dressing room 5 minutes before, so the response was quite normal, because I'm really blunt with my players, and they train well, they are ready for this game, and let's see tomorrow.
I take on board what you said right at the start, but if you're taking responsibility away from the players, then you put it on you, and someone has to take responsibility for the fact that Manchester United are 14th in the
I'm not taking responsibility from the players. What I'm saying, that is the message that you guys show was that I was putting on the players. What I was saying is that you have to look really hard to find the team of Manchester United in 10 games that lose 7 games. In that is on me, because it's the same players doing worse with a new coach. That's my only concern in the moment. But I'm not taking anything from the players. What I'm saying is that we have to improve in the details, and I explained that. The way we play, we are too nervous with the ball, too nervous, really anxious. And then if you have a little bit experience in this game, when you fall in this type of context, it's really hard to go up, especially when you are a massive club. So that was my only point. It was the best point to do it after that loss in the way I do it. Maybe not, but it is what it is. And I'm like that all the time. So I'm not taking responsibility from the players. I'm saying, I'm really, really direct in things. I'm saying in this moment, we are performing really bad. And our results are really bad in the moment. So it's everything together, the players, the staff, the technical stuff. So I'm not taking responsibility. I'm just pointing that I'm the biggest responsible of the performance and the results, because I'm the coach and I have that responsibility.
Ruben, you've spoken a couple of times about the anxiety that you feel sometimes at Old Trafford, is it becoming harder to play there at the moment as opposed to being away? And is there anything that you can do to combat it, that feeling of kind of nervousness, anxiety when you play home games?
I think that is clear. I could say different things and say, no, it's the same thing. We have the support of the fans. No, we are more nervous playing at home than away, because we lost a lot of games, like 4 games in 5. So it's getting harder. What we can improve, I think, if we don't suffer the first goal, like in the 4th minute, and I remember like it's 4th minute, 10 minute, 15 minutes, and then it's really hard to calm down the team. So we need, the first thing in my mind is they cannot score. We need to score the first one. If we score the first one, I think that will change and we will play better at home in the beginning. That's it. I think it's really clear. We are really anxious playing, especially at home, and we are suffering goals, and then it's really hard. So I think it's clear for everybody that is getting harder to play at Old Trafford.
Jamie.
I think you said previously, a couple of weeks back, there's a storm coming, yes? So it's fair to say you're in the storm, yeah? Can it get any worse for you, for this team, in terms of your position, your performances, the results? Can there be thunder and lightning in the storm?
I think the most important thing is to think that we can improve right away in the next match, and then it's like that. The football can change like that. We can have a lot of ideas in thinking that it's getting worse for that reason or the other reason. Imagine that tomorrow we don't suffer a goal in the beginning and we score and we play well, and then you go to Fulham and you can win it. That will change even the environment here and everything. So I don't know. What I knew since the first day is that when I arrived and I see it, I understood that changing things, we are going to suffer. For me, it was really clear. But in this moment, I don't want to say that it's going to take a lot of time. It's getting really hard, and and you guys are here for a long time, and you get lost after loss. It's really hard for everybody, and I know that. Sometimes I show that frustration, but I don't know. We can change that tomorrow. Sorry, I didn't say I was nervous. I said the team was nervous. I was frustrated. Frustrated is different from nervous. And if you say it's good for the players to see the coach frustrated, maybe not. But I didn't say I was nervous.
You're saying your players are nervous. We are nervous.
Yeah. As a team, because it's always we.
Does that help the team, or to sort of put that thought into their head?
No. I'm saying the obviously. If you want, I can be delusional and say different things. Right. I say it as I saw it, and I said to the players, and I said to you, I think it's a good thing to be really honest with you. If you want me to say different things, you saw one thing, I saw one thing, and I tell you a different thing, I can start to do it. That is easier for me. But what I'm saying is that, and they know. And you can understand the game. If you are in the stadium, you can understand. So let's face it and work on it. But I'm not nervous. I'm frustrated.
You mentioned in the dressing room after the Brighton game saying these kind of things to the players directly. I'm right in saying that usually you don't say anything, you wait until the next morning. Why did you change your methods for that game? And do you sometimes feel that you need to, I don't know, you said you want to shock the club, shock the players. Was that a moment where you were doing that? No,
it was not. I didn't think. That's why. I'm a young guy and sometimes I make a mistake, and that's why I don't talk about after the game. This game, I needed to talk, and maybe it was a mistake, and then I get more nervous and go to the conference really nervous, and then you say things that you shouldn't say, and that's it. Sometimes you are a young guy and then do mistakes, and you improve. I don't promise you that I will not do it again. I don't know, so I will try to improve.
James.
Ruben, you've been honest as always about the sort of financial realities that the club are going to face this year. There's a lot of talk of Napoli and Chelsea interest in Garnacho. If the club was to get to a point where it gets an offer that it deems acceptable for a player like that, how important is it for you that you are then able to reinvest and use that money?
Guys, I understand the question. Let's focus on the game. I don't want to talk about that, especially before a game. Our focus is that our players are here to play. We need to improve. We need to win games to have that feeling of winning. It's really important for us. So let's focus on that today. We expect, like Harry said, a tough match. A lot of physicality during the game. I know that some players, important players that from Rangers that don't play, and we have to know the new players to understand the way they play. With the fullbacks are really high on the pitch. They have talented to score in the final third. So it's one more difficult game. Is really important for us because we want to skip playoff. Is really important to have time to train. So I expect the same thing that we face in the last games. A really tough match, a lot of physicality, with also the fans from Rangers making some noise. So we are prepared. Our fans are prepared. We want to win.
Just one last one from Scotland.
Ruben, if you don't mind. Yeah, in many ways, the situation at Rangers just now mirrors the situation at Manchester United. A lot of turmoil on and off the park. Are you aware of what's been going on in Rangers? Same idea of the fans being upset at lack of success, and do you feel for their coach, Philippe Clement?
It's really hard. These massive clubs, and Rangers won a lot. I think is the club with more titles in Europe. So it's really hard in these moments for any coach in any club. But I hope to improve my team before, especially tomorrow. So I feel the pain of the Rangers coach.
Oh, do you know what? Like, watching some of these press conferences sometimes, I feel as though these so-called sports journalists who are supposedly educated individuals, they ask some stupid questions at times, because sometimes I feel as though they're not paying attention to what the football coaches are saying, or maybe they are and they're just trying to dig for a headline. To be honest, I think that's probably what it is. They're probably just digging for a headline, really, because there was a guy there. Oh, he was asking about, so do you take responsibility, Ruben Amorim, and take away the responsibility from the players? Is that what you said? And it's like, clearly, Ruben Amorim wasn't saying he was taking the responsibility away from the players. He was saying that they all need to take responsibility, and that he does take the most responsibility as being a coach. Wasn't that self-evident to what he was saying? I don't know. And I'm going to have to find out the name of that particular journalist, because he's been doing it for a long time for Manchester United, and he just talks in a way that's just really condescending. And it's like, Ruben, are you saying that you take all of the responsibility? It's just, oh mate, it's just football, pal, Anyway, it's really nice to see Ruben Amorim get a little bit aggy and absolutely clarify his words there, and keep these journalists in place, because that reminds me of Alex Ferguson, because he used to always say that he controls the narrative, and it's good when a manager does that, and he calls them out, for things that they say and do. And for when he was very specific when he was saying, I'm not nervous, I'm frustrated. It was good to see that fight there as well, but I'm not nervous. And you could tell he was getting a little bit sort of aggy there, and I like that. I like to see managers do that, because it shows a little bit of fight, and that's what you want. At the end of the day, it's a competition, and you want to see them getting a little bit agitated, because they're a little bit, they've got some fire inside, and that's what Fergie was like. Mourinho's like that too, and obviously they're two of the greatest managers of all time. So that's what you want to see. But he looks, Ruben Amorim, even though things are very up and down, he doesn't seem fazed by it necessarily. He doesn't seem overwhelmed. He's always articulate. He's always very clear in what he's saying. He seems to be in control of himself at the very least, and at the very least he's setting certain standards for what he wants, both from the players and from, in this instance, the journalists as well. So I do like that. He seems to have a forceful personality. And, he said he made a mistake by going into the dressing room after the Brighton game and kicking off and apparently smashing a TV. So what? He probably should have been doing that from day one, to be fair. Because we shouldn't be getting beat by teams like Brighton. We just shouldn't, because we're a better side. And we just seem to be, Man United at the moment, we're an underdog side. So when we're underdogs, we play really well, like we did against Man City, against Liverpool, against Arsenal as well. The only problem is that Man United is still a big club, so most of the teams that we play against They are the underdog. And teams always seem to play better when they are the underdog. And because Man United kind of fold and they kind of crumble under the pressure of being the favourites, we seem to not be as focused against the so-called lesser teams like Brighton and like some of the other smaller teams that we've played against. Newcastle as well, because we are a better team than Newcastle on paper, and we are certainly a bigger club, but we're just out of form. And how does the slogan go at Old Trafford? Form is temporary, class is permanent. But thanks to Sir Jim, we're not showing much class at the moment as well, with all the sackings and streamlining of personnel. Oh, good grief. But yeah, you know, Ruben's right. Things can change like that, and hopefully they change like that sooner rather than later. And what it's going to take for things to change for Manchester United to kick on remains to be seen. I think it all boils down to the players and the personnel on the pitch. I can't help but go back to the left back position or the left wing back position, because what I've noticed from going to the matches, actually going to the matches and watching it, and because there's a lot of things you see when you actually go to the ground and that you don't necessarily see on TV, because the TV focus on the action primarily, and a lot of the times you miss out on some of the sort of positional things, you know, off the ball sort of instances. And one of the biggest things that I've noticed is there doesn't seem to be a lot of speed in the team. And the speed, if this particular team was complete and they were performing well and it was effective, it relies on the speed of the fullbacks. And we don't have a lot of speed down the left-hand side. Not at all. Because Bruno Fernandes tends to play on the inside, well, sort of the inside left, supporting the main striker. And I mean, Bruno's fast enough, but he's not necessarily known for his speed and his counter-attacking abilities, really. He's not a flying winger, for instance. And, well, I mean, Amad Diallo's got a turn of pace, to be fair. For some reason, I don't know, Dalot just doesn't necessarily seem to have blistering pace, and I don't think Mazraoui has either. So I can't help but feel we need a left full-back that's fast, that could sprint down the left and cross it in. And can cross it in for players like Xerxes to header, or for players like Højlund to header. And we need the same on the right-hand side as well. Because I usually use the Chelsea example under Conte when they played 3-4-3, and they had Victor Moses on the right-hand side. So, you know, he was fast. And on the left-hand side, they had Marcos Alonso. And I think he had a bit of a turn of pace. But the point is, those two players were perfectly suited for those wing-back positions. And they adequately supported Hazard, Pedro and Costa. But we don't quite have that balance in the team. I think Dalot and Mazraoui can adequately fight for the right-back position, the right full-back. No. I want to see Mazraoui play more in one of the three. In the right-hand central defensive position, and just have Dalot on the right. I think that's Dalot's best position. And then obviously we need to buy someone on the left. But anyway. But yeah, you know, things can change by a drop of a hat. And I can't help but think just having that one player on the left will just create enough width and balance within the side and add a turn of pace that just could make the difference moving forward, because we're just not quick enough on the counter-attack. We can defend quite well. With De Ligt, Harry Maguire's playing well as well, but just hitting teams on the counter-attack, we just don't seem to have that cutting edge moving forward. Especially when we've got Xerxes up front, who's not the fastest player. Xerxes works better with his ball control and his technique and opening up teams. And he's actually got a good pass on him as well. And Dalot's good with his intricacy up front. So those two players are good when the teams are playing on the low block. But hitting teams on the counter, I think, would work really well for this team, unfortunately. To be fair, we do have players that could do that in Marcus Rashford and Garnacho, but for some reason, they just don't seem to be interested, and it's looking more and more likely that Garnacho is going to be leaving sometime soon. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you like the fight in Ruben Amorim? Do you think he's going to get it right sometime soon? Do you think we're going to buy someone this January? And if so, who do you think it's going to be? Is it going to be this Drogu guy? He's meant to be quite good, or would you prefer to see someone else? And do you think buying the left back will bring the balance to the team that could help the team kick on? Or do you think it's something else? As always, if you've reached this far, you're clearly interested in the content that I'm creating and you're interested in what I've got to say. And because of that, I am very grateful and I want to know what's on your mind too. So please put it in the comments and I'll see you in the next one.